Hi everyone and welcome back to the Upside Dan. I'm going to be reviewing One Night in Miami, Amazon Prime's new movie. One Night in Miami is about a fictional account of one incredible night where icons Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown gathered discussing their roles in the civil rights movement and the cultural upheaval of the 60s. This movie is directed beautifully and just brilliantly by Regina King and written by Kemp Powers. Kemp Powers also wrote the stage play that this is based on, and I thought that it actually really, got translated well to screen for the most part. Sometimes it drags, and really, I wasn't really into this movie until, which is early on, but until this group of people got together, these icons got together in this hotel room. That's when I really got into the film. That's when it was the most intriguing to me. I wasn't really into so much of the other stuff in the beginning. Now granted, this isn't usually a movie that older, back in the past Dan would have necessarily checked out. This movie and like other Oscar winners and Oscar nominees like Lincoln and The King's Speech and this, and I wouldn't normally check these kind of award winning or the award nominee films out. But recently, the past few years, I've gotten more into them and I've wanted to watch more, and I'm really, really glad that I decided to do that, and I'm not missing out on these films anymore because a lot of them are really good. So let me kind of get into this cast. This cast is really, stacked with such amazing, so immensely talented performers. We got Kingsley Ben-Adir as Malcolm X. We have Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke. We have Eli Goree as Cassius Clay, also known as Muhammad Ali. We have Aldis Hodge as Jim Brown. And those are the main ensemble group of characters. But we also have, Lance Reddick as Kareem X, one of the bodyguards, and Christian Magby as Jamal, kind of one of the security guards, in training. And this cast does spectacularly. I think you come here for the writing, the directing, and the cast. There's so many intense and mostly dialogue driven. This movie is mostly dialogue driven, and I thought that would kind of be a bore at first, but it's not. And of course it's based on the stage play, so yes, there's not as many locations, kind of like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, also based on a stage play. There's not many different locations. This has more than Ma Rainey's, I believe it, but I thought it was still very intriguing, and there were times when I was wowed by this dialogue and these performances and, how it was directed and how it was written. The camera work here, some very good, panning shots around the room as, one of our, icons here is, talking and really putting out emotional speech or trying to incite, thought, trying to incite a fight even. Not just physical, but like, a back and forth verbal fight. And I thought, like I said, intriguing. It was very great to see these characters together in this room. When they got in the hotel room, I was hook, line, and sinker. This group really felt like they were friends. They really felt like they knew each other very well, and they really cared about each other. You could just tell that through the way they were talking and how they were talking and how they were handling themselves and how they were portraying themselves on screen. I thought it was just done amazingly. I really believe that. I was very into this film when we got the characters together. But weaved through these group scenes, weaved through that is scenes where pretty much each icon, I believe, got a one-on-one with each other. And those were very powerful scenes. The group scenes were very powerful scenes. There's just so much power and intensity and, very important themes in this film. And I don't know how, but it's still relevant today, which it shouldn't be. But it is. It's very important today, and I would almost say it's getting to the fact where it's, it's almost going to be just as important. We need to change. We really do, and I hope that this film, and I hope films, they're not going to be the main, probably, but I think they can incite change, and I hope that this film is watched by all different types of people, and you know, maybe some of those people can, you know, grow a brain and heart. Just some of these were so, you know, very powerful and poignant scenes that incited dialogue that was just, you know, so important, like I said, to the times back then and also to now. I really want to give a special shout out to Kingsley Ben-Adir. This cast all did amazing, but I really was enthralled by his performance as Malcolm X. He came off so well as a professional speaker. I really believed that this man was going around and, you know, speaking, and motivational speaker, and a speaker for change. He really talked that way. And it changed when it had to change, like in a, you know, confrontation mostly with Sam Cooke, which were great scenes and very powerful, like I said. And the music here was used greatly, the score was used greatly. You know, I really ended up enjoying this film. And I wasn't sure at first, you know, like I said, before they got together, I wasn't as sure if I liked it or not. There is a special scene that I especially loved. I mean, I liked a lot of them. But I loved when Malcolm X was telling, you know, in flashbacks, you see flashback, and it kind of switches back and forth to the one night in Miami, and then it switches to the flashback in Boston, where he's telling him about one of the times he watched Sam Cooke perform. Now, the audio went out, and Sam Cooke still found a way, you know, to sing. And it brought these people together, and it made Malcolm X smile, and it made Sam Cooke have such a fun time, and it made it one of the most memorable nights of his career. I just thought that was a powerful scene, and how it kept flashing back, and even they were singing it and like tapping and making the beat in the present time during the one night in Miami scene, but they were also making that beat back in the day during the Boston scene. I just thought that was very well directed and well written, and of course well performed. Now let me get back to, you know, more of the culture that this film should show, and I hope it incites change. I think it's very, very, very important that people of every color, people of every ethnicity, every gender, every sexuality, they need, you know, representation on screen. And I think it's so important that we have these black-focused films by black directors, black women directors, starring a black cast for the most part. I think it's so important. And it like, representation is so, I mean, I hate to keep using this word, important. But like I said, I hope this will invoke change. Black Lives Matter, and it's not just a movement. They need to matter. And they haven't, unfortunately. We gotta love one another. We have to truly love one another, and I hope that films like this can incite that. Films do that for me. I love film. So check this out. I definitely recommend it. I'll give One Night in Miami an 8.5 out of 10. Go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime now. If you liked that video and you want to see more, you'll probably like something around here. And of course, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you can be reminded anytime I post a video. Please like this video, comment down in those comment sections, and come to the Upside Dan.